Good afternoon. We're coming on the air live from the Republican National Convention this afternoon right here in Milwaukee. Day one of the RNC already making headlines. And there is breaking news at this hour from Milwaukee because just moments ago, former President Donald Trump revealing his pick for vice president. Senator J.D. Vance, now his running mate. Trump making his choice from a short list from 4 or 5 finalists in the end. This is the first time in 36 years that a presidential candidate has announced a running mate during the convention. Of course, the convention just getting underway. The last time this happened, 1988, George H.W. Bush introducing Dan Quayle. That was actually during a rally. But while the convention was underway, I think it was day 2 of the convention back then. So many decades later, Donald Trump announcing on day 1 of the convention that his running mate will be J.D. Vance of Ohio. I'm joined here in the broadcast booth by Martha Raddatz, John Carl, our team on the floor, Rachel Scott and Terry Moran. But John Carl, first to you, your reaction on the choice of J.D. Vance.
Well, first of all, I believe this will be the youngest running mate if he becomes vice president, the youngest vice president since Vice President Breckinridge, who served Buchanan back before the Civil War. So he's only 39 years old. He's been in the United States Senate for less than 2 years, elected in 2022. But he is somebody who is extremely popular among what you might call the MAGA wing of the Republican Party, a conservative firebrand, came on the scene with a best-selling book, of course, Hillbilly Elegy, yep. Which was seen as a way of kind of explaining the Trump phenomenon. But back then, this is somebody who was strongly anti-Trump in 2016. He was very critical of Trump, but after Trump won, he came on, as a big Trump supporter, and this will electrify the MAGA wing of this convention, which I think is the convention.
And I'm not even sure people on the floor recognize that the announcement has been made because this is roll call, also another significant moment. We'll talk more about J.D. Vance here in just a moment. Let's take you live down to the floor and let's listen. This is the roll call. We're getting closer to the state of Florida, which I believe, given the math so far, will be the state that puts Donald Trump over the top. We're on Massachusetts right now. Let's listen in and get a sense of the energy on the floor.
Pursuant to the announcement of the delegation and the rules and procedures of this convention, Massachusetts, 40 votes, President Trump.
The roll call, Massachusetts, on to Indiana next, Georgia, Utah, Maryland, Texas, Ohio, J.D. Vance representing that state as the junior senator. So as we stick with these pictures on the floor, Martha Raddatz also here with me. And Martha, the selection of J.D. Vance, Donald Trump has actually said in the past that the selection of a running mate really isn't that important. But he has signaled in recent days that given what the country has witnessed, just Saturday, the attempted assassination of a former president spells out how important all of these choices really are. We've actually seen it for Biden-Harris as well, as people debate whether or not President Biden is up to the job for a second term. A lot of eyes have been focused on the Vice President, Kamala Harris. So in this particular year, perhaps the choice of VP looms even larger than what we've seen in modern politics.
It certainly does. And after this weekend and after what happened, it is a very, very critical choice. You have to wonder whether Donald Trump decided days ago on J.D. Vance or after that assassination attempt. But he's got this young man, as John said, 39 years old. He will be a player in the Republican Party for decades to come.